Okay, it's Christina Merkley here, and I'm with Soji. Welcome. And Soji, you found your way to me. You have an interest in working visually, so you found your way to the Graphic Facilitation Facebook group, where there's, I think it's about 14,000 strong now, that amazing community. And I post some things on there, so you found your way to the free recorded session. And I know that there's an interest in working visually, so I'm certainly happy to riff on that. And this particular opportunity is set up to use working visually with individuals to assist them with anything that's impactful for 2020. So different people have emotional or mental upset. Sometimes it's career, financial stuff going on. Sometimes people are fine and maybe they feel a little guilty that they're fine. So I know you have an interesting background, right, that you're wanting to apply the visuals to. So that might be a place to kind of start. You're talking about complexity and wanting to use the visual skills to help sort through complexity, to be able to communicate and help people find their way in the world that you work in. So maybe just a little bit about that, and we can see where I might be able to be of assistance for a little bit here.
Thank you so much. I have the feeling that this is going to be epic. Like it may be like a therapy session, but I believe it will shed some light on some of the things I'm faced with now. I mean, that group of people that, for me, 2020 has been really interesting. Mm-hmm. Overall, it's been more positive than not. Mm. And like you said, maybe there's a bit of guilt to that. I've really grown in 2020, despite all the challenges. I was away from my family for like 6 months because I couldn't travel. Mm. I had professional challenges, but the lockdown allowed my style to shine. And the value of my style of working became more apparent because of COVID. Mm. So I'm interested in harnessing that value, finding and harnessing that value. This is the second major pandemic that I've been involved in. Mm. I was one of the responders to the Ebola outbreak in 2014 to 16. And during that experience, everything that could go wrong went wrong then. We all arrived there as experts, and we're all very humbled by the fact that this was a new way of presentation of pandemics. Mm. The old playbooks could not work. And we learned the hard way that complex problems require actually, there are no solutions to complex problems. They are just trade-offs and ameliorations, not solutions. Mm. The old paradigm, I think, and this is just my opinion, of expert-led solution provision is you come in with a prescriptive answer, and it's usually linear, and it usually goes from point to point, and you aim to get to a resolution. My own experience of Ebola was that doesn't work any longer. I think the world is just too networked and too complex. And most things are connected. Like Ebola, we found out, was now connected to social mobilization and socioeconomic indices and people's level of education and other things like that. So essentially, the complexity of 21st century development challenges requires co-creation and new solutions. And every solution has to be fit for the purpose that it's been applied to. Bringing something from somewhere else may not necessarily work in all situations. And it was also a time of a shift, or it happened after a time of shift, of great shift in the world in general. Technology was making things happen faster. Mm. And that shift had not really entered the world of humanitarian health and global development. That world was still a bit unaffected by the speed of change. But because of the acuteness of the Ebola outbreak and the impact, those tools had to be incorporated very quickly. So the learning curve was very steep. And I was actively involved in those efforts. So after it, I was convinced that, you know, I needed to be part of the pioneers that push innovative solutions within that space. Mm. And that's what I'm doing right now. That's the work I'm doing right now. But it's really hard to make these things work when you're dealing with many people and things are moving fast. Mm-hmm. And one of the tools I've had to acquire to help me get to grips with that is systems thinking. Mm-hmm. And systems thinking as a discipline has really helped me to think better. But I also realized that it's also very helpful when one can think visually. It helps you see your thoughts and helps other people better see your thoughts. So it's not just this meta fuzzy thing that doesn't really connect, because connection, I think, is the main purpose, or is the preceding factor to activate our innovation work.
Connection?
Connection. Mm-hmm. The human connection. Mm. So I feel like I'm rambled a bit.
Well, you did a riff. I don't think it was a ramble. I think it was a beautiful riff. So you give really good context. Beautiful. So I've done my best to keep up with you. So I'm hearing 2020 that you've grown and that your style has really shone, that this has actually been positive. It's been challenging because you said you're away from your family. So you haven't seen your family. I haven't seen family in 6 months, was it?
Yes, I was away. I'm with them now, but for 6 months, I was away from them for 6 months. I was away from the office. We had to learn new ways of working. We had to work remotely, but through that, we're able to mount a global coordinated effort that did not require physical presence, but we're able to collaborate with colleagues from across the world and respond in a way that was effective, that we probably would not have imagined possible before March or February 2020.
Wow, that's positive. Yes. Cool. And tell me about your style. So your style has shone. How would you articulate your style?
My style is insight, like trying to gain insight into a problem or a situation or a puzzle. I think my style is adventurous, but curious. And adventurous, but curious. My current title actually is Head of Exploration. And I realized through this, that whoever did the hiring or the selection for that was, you know, there are some tools they're using that I didn't realize at the start of the engagement. Because that seems to be a natural trait for me to, you know, seek out answers wherever they may be, and then to bring those answers back to my tribe and say, hey, this is what I found. How can we make it useful for us?
Give me the title again.
Head of Exploration.
And the puzzle pieces, fitting those all together. Okay.
And then I think I'm obviously a generalist by nature and by profession. Like I am interested, I think they call it a T-shaped person, but I think am I a shallow T? I don't know. I think that's open to interpretation, but I'm T-shaped. I have a breadth of interest. Like I don't necessarily stay in a narrow field. My first degree was in medicine. So I have an MD, but I've since branched out from that and done many other things. So.
Fantastic. And second epidemic, so went through with Ebola and now going through COVID. Where have you been? You're in the US?
I'm in the US right now, but my duty station is in Fiji, in the Pacific.
Oh. Okay. And there's been no to expert-led, no to prescriptive answers, and yes to trade-offs, and the whole complexity. And then the shift with technology, it sounds, has been a game changer to humanitarian health. And then just this connection business, having to work and connect and collaborate with so many people across so many regions, and this huge steep learning curve here, pushing for these innovative solutions. How has this been for all of you?
By all of you, could you?
How has all of this been for you is probably a better way to word it.
Oh, yeah. Right. Wow. Honestly, I was thinking about that in the night yesterday. And the word that just popped into my head, because, you know, when you can't sleep and you're thinking, you don't really think in sentences, just like words just pop into your mind. And I found out, and I'm sorry, I don't know what this means. I need to unpack it, but I seem to thrive when things are chaotic. Like when things are messy and chaotic seems to be when I do my best work. And that's happened like over and over again. In Darfur, Liberia, Ebola, COVID, those are the times I really shine. So it was chaos animal or whatever that came to my mind. So it's been chaotic, meaning that there's been discomfort. But I've been able to achieve a lot more in that period, in that space.
Yeah,
I've been more productive, yeah.
And what's top of mind for you at this point, now that we've made it through, 6+ months along here?
Top of mind with respect to,
I don't know.
Top of mind is, well, family. And
what about family?
Family, meaning that I will trade off less. I will value family more in my calculations, meaning I will be more emphatic on future job roles about the possibility of being with my family a greater percentage of the time than I have been. Then secondly, taking ownership for a bold vision and not abdicating the responsibility for it. Because usually when one wants to do stuff like that you think will be very beneficial to the ecosystem you are in the worlds I work, there are lots of stakeholders. It's hard to even get things moving. And that usually becomes the excuse to just say, okay, you know what, people are not getting on board. They see how valuable it is. Okay, so in that case, I'll just let it go, and probably sulk, I'm sorry to say sometimes, and then sulk and withdraw. And yeah, that's something that's top of mind for me. And I've started taking small steps in that direction. And I feel more empowered and more scared in a good way. because the risk of failure is always present when doing things like that. Well, life is short, as we have learned more this year. Like everything you believe to be, you can rely on in an instant can just be,
done. Okay, so this is top of mind, these ones here. Value family more, ownership of a bold vision, becoming more empowering, less sulking, less withdrawing, and just the recognition of life is short. When one has that recognition, what gets provoked? When that new, and it might not be newer given your line of work.
what gets provoked.
Yeah, when you really deeply know life is short.
What gets provoked for me, let me find the exact, it popped into my head and like, I threw it out to Facebook I posted it on my page. It has to do with focusing on my contribution and less on the immediate happenings, like focusing on what I have control over, and that's the effort I put in. And focusing less on the recognition for it or applause or praise for it. And more on what I believe is true, is right, acting on it, whether it's popular or unpopular, taking it to its logical conclusion, taking responsibility for all the actions that it takes to actualize that vision. And it's also the secret, I think, to being fierce and effective. You can defend your position before anyone, regardless of the perceived power relationship, because you can see clearly what it is and you believe in it. And I'm focused on my contribution, not your reward or your applause or anything like that, which often in the past, can also can lead to some timid behavior because, it's true, you don't want to speak up because it's not popular or something like that.
And is there anything in particular you're at this point wanting to speak up about?
I've been speaking up about that since COVID started, so I'm all spoken out.
You have been, yeah.
I have been. Is there anything I want to continue speaking up about? It's probably I don't know how to put this, but no, I don't have any clear message right now. Yeah.
Okay. But I'm hearing through this experience, it's really honed. So you're working through some patterning, right? Some recognition of patterns about being motivated by recognition and reward and approval. And this whole experience and the intensity of it and the life is short has lit a fire under you about ownership of the bold vision. And also of just speaking, even if it's not popular, even if it's having to tell truth to power.
Yeah.
This all sounds very powerful and very strong. Often people will come to me when there's a problem. Is there a problem? If there was a problem, there doesn't have to be, but at the leading edge of where you're at, what's the problem?
I would say not necessarily finding my tribe, but
something along those lines, huh?
Yeah, I kind of have an idea of my tribe, but deepening my tribal bonds and outcomes. Like I've been able over time to identify people who are like me, who think like me, who have the same vision. And the role I'm in actually right now, the Accelerator Labs, is very much along that line. but I'd like to become a stronger contributor in the tribe, more effective and more, yeah.
Okay, great. Stronger contributor and effective in my tribe. Okay, now I know where we're going to go in terms of maps. So this is all good preamble. And this is, you know, to speak to you're interested in working visually. This in a way is graphic recording. I mean, I'm facilitating. I'm not coaching strongly here. I'm just really holding a space and container for you and asking various things. So I'm recording that out as we go. I'm going to do a bit of a segue. I'm going to save this right now. And we'll come back to that. And I'm going to bring up another map. And I want to go with this stronger contributor and being more effective with my tribe. There may be some resistance in there, so I'm going to help make this visible and help you shift it. I'm just going to bring up one of my maps here called Flip It Good. There we go. Okay, so that previous sheet that I just did that really got into a bit of your past, the immediate past, and bringing you up to the now. And now we've got at the top of here, I'm going to transfer over the thing you just identified, which is the, you know, contributor. In my tribe, being more effective. Now this map is called Flip It Good. So what I'm going to first get out is what I call the yeah buts, which is going to be the aspects of yourself that have some sort of resistance or reluctance or stuff around really doing that. And just know that it's going to feel a little weighty to begin with, because we're going to get all the negative crap. But just know I'm not going to leave you hanging in that. So we will be doing something with it. But the first thing we have to do is capture and collect it all up. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. So if this is, you can do this with anything that you have as a goal or a vision, and there's mixed energy. So I know that part of you is yes, yes, yes to being a contributor with this like-minded tribe that you found and being more effective. But there's also another part or parts of you that have some stuff around that. One way to think about this is just a shorthand way to get it. One of your shoulders is sitting a little character that represents the part of you that's like, yes, yes, yes. So which shoulder of yours holds the one who's like totally into this goal? Okay, good.
Right shoulder.
Okay, so that means on the left shoulder is the one that's not so sure. And might even have a little bazooka gun or something kind of wanting to shoot it down, right? So that's the one we're going to mic up. We're going to pass the mic to that left shoulder, and it's going to start to verbalize any hesitancy or uncertainty or doubts about this contributing, and, you know, getting there and just really upping the ante about what you're doing. So as you give the mic to that shoulder and it starts to get ready to share things with you, what's the first thing that it says? What's its objection to this wonderful vision of yours about contributing even more effectively than you have with your like-minded tribe?
Thank you so much. Fear.
Yeah, fear of what?
Fear of exposure, judgment, and ridicule.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Good, we're on the board. And what else comes up as an objection?
It's not good enough yet. Needs to be perfected.
Okay.
And we all know that's a never-ending journey.
Well, you're already naturally flipping it, which is good. Needs perfection. Never ending. Okay, good. What else does that shoulder have? Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, in terms of geographical location, I haven't lived in the environment where I grew up, where I have all my friends and social support for a very long time. I'm a migrant, and then my work takes me to many places. So that assurance you have that if you fall, most people around you will catch you.
Right.
I've not had it for a really long time. I don't have my childhood friends around. I don't have my family, like my extended family. I don't have even just people that speak the same native tongue as me. And I see now there's a power, like, to growing up, like where I live right now, which is a suburb of in the US, I have the school my kids go to. I have some parents who went to that same school. They've grown in that environment.
That longevity.
That longevity. We go for games, soccer games, basketball games, and all the parents probably played sports together when they were younger. And there's that feeling of, the environment supports me. I can act with intention because, whatever happens, people've got my back.
Yeah.
So being someone who is itinerant, it's usually like you're on your own, and yeah.
Okay,
that
very
sense
good.
is not there.
Yes, that security. Yeah. And a safety net. Okay, very good. Dig in. What else is in there about why this contributing in a bigger way might not be the greatest idea, or the fear or worry about it?
Yeah, I could jeopardize my pension because if you venture big, you fail big, also you fall big, and that's a fear. Like I can just keep pushing around, doing the barest minimum, and it's not going to, it's secure.
Not going to change anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So jeopardizing my pension, my financial security.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. What else?
Being seen as a dabbler somehow, I don't know. Like being seen as, someone always has all these ideas, but are not practicable. Something like that.
Okay. Excellent. Good. What else? You're doing awesome. Anything else?
The other objections I had before are no longer relevant. Yeah.
Okay, go for relevant ones.
That's it. Yeah.
Go for relevant.
That's it. And the places where I operate, the countries where I operate now, I did not go to school there, so I don't have that old school network to draw on, which makes things easier sometimes.
So it makes it harder. Because if you had it, it makes it easier. So the flip of it, if you don't have it, it makes it harder.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. What else? Oh, why is left shoulder? What else does it say? Psst, you forgot this one. Oh, this is a good one.
Yeah, it's continent kind of formulated.
Mm-hmm.
Something like it doesn't even matter after all, like, whatever it is, it's not going to matter in the overall scheme of things. Like it's just going to be a drop in the bucket of making things better.
Yep, it's not going to
You're
make an
old.
impact. Ooh, that's a good one. What else?
You don't have access to the resources, financial resources to do some of these things.
Mm.
And also the networks
Mm.
to act at that scale.
Good. I warned you, it's going to feel a little weighty, but you're doing good. What else? What else, shoulder? What else is a concern here? Or yeah, but
Decision makers won't listen to you. They'll just be like, just
they'll just what?
devalue your idea or just diminish.
Mm-hmm. Not
Not
just
necessarily the
ignore,
idea,
but
diminish the efforts.
okay. Yeah.
And I think I tend to put a lot of weight in the opinion of people in positions of influence.
Mm-hmm. Good. What else? What else you got in there, shoulder? This tribe of like-minded people really want to make a difference and want to do things in the ways that they're being led.
Why not just they'll take? Why do you think you can even make a difference? Like, why do you think you can? Why do you think you shouldn't just do what everybody else is doing and have an easy life? Not easy life, but I mean just do what everybody else is doing and follow the. Yeah, I think that's even a big one. Like many times I just wonder, like, why don't I just
Play the game. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, play the game and
Okay, fair enough, shoulder. Good one. Anything else? What else?
you're not enough.
There's a good one. What else?
I think everything eventually just comes down to fear and unpacking that fear. And I realize now that if I had one or two or three people in my immediate environment that were such soulmates that we can touch base on, have this kind of conversations more frequently, that will be very helpful. Over time, I have those relationships, but it just turns out that we're not usually in the same place.
Okay, that's good. Got that one. See if there's one more in there. I'm just going to text my assistant. I'm going to see if I can get a little bit more time to work with you. So I'm going to bump somebody a little bit here. But go ahead, think of that one and I'll... Okay, what do you got?
You do not have the charm, charisma, and personality to pull it off. To pull off many of these things.
Okay, let's get them all down. Good words. Charm, charisma, and was there another one?
Personality.
Ah. Okay. Okay, so shift your body posture, shake it off. It's going to feel a little... And how this works is we're going to go up to the top. And this is where the flip comes in. And that's where we're going to use your other shoulder, and we're going to use other resources and allies that you might have to see how to find an authentic flip to this. So the first one, fear of exposure, judgment, and ridicule. So just let that kind of come in. And just see as you go to the right shoulder, which is the one that's behind this vision, what's its counter? What's its counter to the left shoulder? Yeah, you're right, left shoulder. We're afraid that exposure, judgment, and ridicule. We don't like that. However, what's the however?
However, so what?
Give me a bit more. So what?
Well, you're going to laugh and judge over something anyway. And so what, like judgment, ridicule, and all that affects me a lot less now than it used to. But I think there's still some muscle memory from earlier times in life when it had a lot of weight. And I think conversations like this help me better unpack that.
Yeah.
There was a time when,
There's a resource that's coming up too. I'll follow up with you. And it's, I'm doing, in addition to these free one-to-one sessions, I'm doing free process groups. And over on the process groups, there's a bunch of tools. And there's a tool in there called the Orphan Rescue. And I can sense in here this old muscle memory. So whatever happened in the past that was painful around exposure, judgment, and ridicule, you're going to want to do some inner work on that. And one way to do some inner work on it is with the protocol I have called the Orphan Rescue. So I'll make sure I hook you up with that. Okay, good. Now we go to the next layer. So the skills, the aptitude, the hypothesis, whatever it might be, it's not good enough yet. It needs perfecting. And this never ending might actually be the flip. Like that's just the way it goes. Everything is always in process, right? So But check with that right shoulder. What does the right shoulder say about this? It's not perfected yet.
Show it. People will help you perfect it, or the market will help you perfect it.
Excellent. People and market will help you perfect it.
Christina, I don't know if we'll have the full after 1 o'clock because, yeah.
That's okay. We'll do what we can do. Yeah.
Okay.
And I can always leave it once you get a sense of this. Anything that we don't do together, you can complete on your own, or drop by a process group and we'll complete it. Great. Okay, next one is, I've been away from home a long time. So the migrant lifestyle, there's lack of people to catch me. You know, I don't, like other people who've been in their same environment. I don't have people who have my back. I'm on my own.
Build the relationships in the new place.
Okay. Now, what about the jeopardizing of the pension and the financial security?
Action actually gives a chance for a bigger pension and more financial security.
Huh. See if that lands, if that lands in your body and really gives a, you know, an authentic yes in your system. Okay. If that's just words, then we need to try again. It landed in my body, but I want, okay, good. I just want to check. Good. What about I'm going to be seen as a dabbler. These, just an idea guy and not someone who's got real practicality.
Yeah, a mentor recently told me something about this that helps me, that for every idea, I'll make a product. There'll be an output.
Okay.
Even if it doesn't end where I'm taking it, but there'll be an output. There'll be something definite, a case study, a report, a platform, something.
Okay, good. Study platform, good. Old school network is missing. It makes it harder for me because I don't have one.
Use the fact that everyone is now used to Zoom to reconnect and stay in touch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you have one. Now you can use it from across the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to matter. It's just going to be a drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
Matters to that drop. It's probably more than a drop in the bucket, but even if it's a drop, it matters to that. It's like that one fish that gets saved, right?
Right.
But that's my flip. Let's see what your intelligence comes up with.
Just do the damn thing.
Yeah.
And don't worry about the bigger,
Yeah. Just do it and see. Mm-hmm. Okay, now you go to if I can't get you on that, I'm going to get you on you're old. You're over the hill.
40 is the new 20. Or at least the new 35.
You're just coming into your prime. It's awesome.
Yeah, if I eat well, exercise, and do the right things, sleep, take care of myself.
Yeah. Take care of self. I lack access to, we, this group, this tribe, and what we want to do, we lack access to financial resources and networks.
Well, do good work and publicize it to attract the right people.
Decision makers aren't going to listen. They're going to devalue and diminish our efforts.
Focus on doing good work. Defend your ideas and opinions if need be.
Good. I care, and I put a lot of weight on those in positions of influence.
Recognize the humanity in everyone, that we all have the same basic fears, vexations, and biological functions.
The stuff you're working out on, it cuts across everything, doesn't it? Why do you think you can make a difference? You should just follow. You should just do what others do. Just play the game.
I made a difference during COVID. It wasn't popular at first, but because I just kept moving, when it was clear that was the way to go, everyone lined up behind.
Excellent. You're not enough.
You are enough. Why do you even need to be like, not that, it's just you're not enough. No one is enough. And you will never be enough. So just do it.
Yeah. A bunch of not enough people can change the world. You need soulmates. You need people in place to have discussions with.
Yeah, I think virtualize those relationships and maintain those relationships, cultivate and maintain, and get better at developing close relationships anywhere you are.
And if all else fails, I just don't have the charm, the charisma, or the personality to pull this off.
I don't know. That's a hard one. Does it matter as much as I think it does?
Yeah. You mentioned a mentor. Go to him or her or anybody else who holds deep wisdom. And how would they respond to you about this?
About which?
About your fear of not having enough charm, charisma, and personality.
I should probably ask them, but I think they'll say, why does it matter? And probably give me examples of people who are not overtly charismatic or charming that have done good stuff. And probably show me how doing good stuff will always help you. I mean, you always be charming and charismatic to people whose life you've affected. Maybe not to the people you want.
Right, but you will to those who you affect, who you make a difference for.
Yes.
That's excellent. Okay. we'll have to do a quick wrap up. So it's been a pleasure to sketch it out. I'll follow up with you with the first map, which really articulated your concept, context and bringing it to the now, and then out popped the vision. And then this is the gunk that's in the way of the vision. I hope it's been helpful. I know it's fast. Anything you would want to say as a closing quote?
No, just to say I'm incredibly grateful to you for this. It's been short, but it's been very powerful. And I look forward to staying in touch and helping you see what you've helped me do.
That would be amazing. Thank you. Yes, my honor. I'll
Thanks
also
so much.
follow up the orphan rescue as well, because get rid of that old muscle memories that's interfering with exposure, judgment, and ridicule from the past. Yeah, that'll help as well. Okay, been a pleasure, Soji. I will be in touch. Take good care and all the best with your mission.
Thanks.
Go for it.